I'm back. Time to do some fun online learning with Mrs. Robles. Okay, we have learned how to do scientific notation. We have learned how to add and subtract using scientific notation. Now we're going to multiply and divide using scientific notation. And I have to be honest with you, this lesson is actually, I think, a little easier than the last one. So, don't worry, it's going to be a piece of cake. I have my little cheat sheet here, so I don't have to keep using my calculator because, you know, some of us aren't human calculators like Miss Howe. Okay, so here we go. We've got our first problem. It's 2.8 times 10 to the 7th times, now we're multiplying instead of adding and subtracting, 1.9 times 10 to the 4th power. So all we do is we take our coefficients here, and we just go ahead and we just multiply them like we always would. 2.8 times 1.9, and that gives us 5.32 times 10. And if you remember our rules for exponents, the rule was if they have the same base, which they do, base 10, and you're multiplying them, then you simply add the exponents. So 7 plus 4 is 11. Okay, so I know that's confusing because we have all these rules, but remember, when you are multiplying two bases, you add their exponents. When you are dividing two bases, you subtract their exponents. Now remember, the bases have to be the same, and they are base 10, okay? So when you multiply those together, you add the exponents. When you divide those, you subtract the exponents. So we've got our first digit is 5. It's between and including 1 and 9 times 10 to the 11th. So we're good to go. We're good to go. Let's look at our next one, number 2. 3.4 times 10 to the negative 2 power times 8.5 times 10 to the 6th power. All right? The reason I like this is you don't have to worry about the exponents being the same. So you don't have to do any of that. There is another step. You see this there. It's there for a reason. But I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so I take the first two coefficients. I say 3.4 times 8.5, and I get 8.9 times 10 to the negative 2. Since I'm multiplying, I add the exponents. Plus 6. Negative 2 plus 6 gives me a 4. That's where I got that. A negative 2 plus 6 is 4. And that looks like we're done, right? No, because I have 2 digits before my decimal, and I'm not allowed to do that. What is before the decimal has to be between and including 1 to 9. So I'm going to need to move my decimal over, did you guys hear that squeak? That's annoying. Over 1 space and get 2.89, oh my, times 10 lars. When I move the decimal place, 0.1 place to the left, I have to add an exponent, so that makes it 10 to the 5th. Okay? So it's kind of like this lesson plus 2 lessons ago. Remember how we learned to adjust the decimal point? So it has to go right here, because what comes before it has to be 1 to 9, including 1 and 9. All right? Let's look at our next one. This time, we're going to divide. Number 3 is a divide. 3.72 times 10 to the 8th divided by 1.2 times 10 to the 5th. So I'm just going to take my 2 coefficients out here, and I'm going to divide them. I'm going to say, just punch it in your calculator. I'm going to say 3.72 divided by 1.2 and I get 3.1 times 10. I'm dividing my exponents. Remember, if they have the same base and you are dividing them, then you subtract the exponents. One more time. Same base, multiplying them, you add the exponents. Same base, you're dividing them, you subtract the exponents. So, I've got an 8 minus 5, that gives me 10 to the 3. A 3 is between 1 and 9, including 1 to 9, so I can just leave it like that. We're good to go. Kind of an easy lesson. This homework should go super fast. Okay? Guys, remember, homework on time, because every day you're late with the homework, and it's due at 9 a.m. the following day. 9 a.m., not 9:01, not 9:03, not 9:30 at night. 9 a.m. the following day. That gives you lots of time to work. Otherwise, you're losing a point. So we don't want to lose points. It's every day. Just do it every day and we're good to go. All right, let's look at the next one. I have 2.1 times 10 to the 7th over 2.5 times 10 to the 3rd. And we know that means divide. It's a fraction. We know it means divide. So we divide 2.1 by 2.5 and we get 0.84 times 10. Exponent bases are the same. Same. Bases, both 10. So, since we're dividing, we subtract the exponents. 7 minus 3 is 4. Super easy homework. Lots of easy mistakes to be made. Take your time. You only have 8 problems to do. It'll go super quick. Just take your time because there's easy mistakes to be made. You don't want to add these because when you are multiplying bases, the same bases, you add the exponents. When you are dividing them, you subtract. We only have one problem right here. See that 0? It is not between 1 and 9, including 1 and 9. So I've got to move my decimal point right here and get 8.4. Because 8 is between 1 and 9, including 1 and 9. Times 10. I moved my decimal point to the right. Because I moved it to the right, I am going to subtract my exponents. So I need to take 1 away. 8.4 times 10 to the 3rd power. All right, later on, down the road, you're going to get some problems that, let me take this down. You're going to get some exponents that do, excuse me, I want to show you this so you don't get tricked. The reason I try and have the board all ready before I get here is because high quality board here. It does not erase very easily. But I do want to show you this. What if you have, and I'm just going to give you a quick example so you can get scooting. What if you have, say you have something times 10 to the negative 5 divided by something times 10 to the negative 4. Let me put my 10 in there. So you would divide these, see, because this is divide. You divide this number and this number. Then you would say 10 to the negative 5, I'm dividing, so minus a negative 4. Don't lose those extra negatives. This goes back to basic algebra, but it is one thing we do tend to forget. So we are dividing here. Okay. Bases are the same. Since we're dividing, we're going to subtract. So I have 10 to the negative 5 minus a negative 4. What do I do? Keep, change, change. All right. So virtually this would be 10 to the negative 5 plus 4 or 10 to the negative 1 power. Okay? So don't let those trip you up. Remember, negative divide means subtract. So a negative minus a negative, you will do keep, change, or plus a positive. Remember, a double negative, back to back with nothing between it, but both change to positive. All right? I want you to do really good. I want you to do your homework on time. Because I love you guys, and I know you can do it. And like I said, there's only 8 problems. You got this. All right, guys, take care.